3, 2, 1. Oh shit. It's one thing to say it. It's another thing to believe it. We say we're all in. We say we're all in. I'm all in, they say. I'm all in unless my wife fucking brings hell on me. I'm all in unless the IRS brings hell on me. I'm all in unless shit gets spicy.
My brother, welcome. If you're here on this page, you're watching this video, it means you're a man that doesn't fuck around. There's a lot of things you could be doing. There's a lot of parts and aspects of Wake Up Warrior that you could be part of. But the one thing that's common amidst all of those experiences is this unity around a conversation of power. The Four Kings is a conversation of power also, but it's a conversation of acceleration of power that I have never introduced to the marketplace before. It's never been available at this way, in this magnitude, with this amount of focus and this amount of time and energy and attention directly from me, one-on-one. If you're on this page and you don't own a business and you are not a currently highly productive man inside the conversation of business, then enjoy this video, but this is not likely a fit for you. Who is this for? This is for businessmen, men who are likely married, who have children, who have built big shit, who know the pressure that comes with building big things. The payroll commitments every 2 weeks of hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions. The commitment that comes from the stretched anticipation every morning as you wake up with the pressure of millions of people's ideas and concepts coming to your door. Hundreds of employees or executive teams who are searching for answers, and they all come from you. Ultimately knowing that the direction of many people's lives is determined upon the power that you access or you do not access on a daily basis.
The minute those men on your unit decide to actually show me that they give a fuck, not just in words, oh Garrett, I want to have it all. Garrett, I'm going to tell the truth. Garrett, I'm going to live by the code. Garrett, I want to live for my wife, my children, and my legacy. I want to have it all. Bullshit. Shut your fucking mouth and show me. Men don't trust me because of how I talk. They trust me because of how I fucking walk. And I've never asked a man here to do anything I have not done.
The Four Kings is a revolutionary conversation. It is born inside the fire that has become the Wake Up Warrior movement. Only this time, it's with me. One-on-one, no mastermind, no events, pure fire, one outcome. 10 years of results in 10 months. Now some may say that's impossible, yet I have lived this time warp I speak of. But it requires a focus and an intensity that cannot be distracted by the side tangent conversations of another man. It requires an exclusive focus on the results that you're wanting and the power necessary to get them. These two convocations of the Four Kings is power, production, and profit. Don't get me wrong, this is not simply a conversation about how to date your wife better or how to have better sex inside of a relationship. Although that may have an impact on your production, we're going to have a conversation that is comprehensive in nature, but a game that is built over 10 months, one-on-one with me, that is going to take you to the limits across all 4 areas of your life with a central focus of production that ends in maximized profitability. The reason a man might even search for this is because of what I call the 5 pits. The 5 pits of despair, one of which I have spent days, months, and even years inside of each one of these pits. These 5 pits, if a man does not raise himself up out of these pits, the production and the creation that has been the empire that he's built will fade to the side. And what will be left is simply a man who wants to run and hide. I've been perplexed by this, how a powerful man could choose such a path as maybe you have and I can. And yet at the end of that journey, only find ourselves in a place yearning for something different or something more. This idea of power is something that is not elusive to me, but what it has become is a passion of searching for how it connects to productivity. This first pit I speak of is the business prison. This was me in my first 3 businesses, was building a business that in the beginning I was in love with, I was in fire with, I was passionate about. Searching, seeking, building, producing, expanding, watching as the payroll and expenses rose while simultaneously the profitability rose. Only to wake up one morning inside of that business and go, what the fuck have I built? What have I built? At what point did the business begin to pull me instead of me pull the business? The despair that a man faces inside of this place has him do crazy shit, has you do crazy things if you're in this place. It has you choose to burn things to the ground that ultimately never should have been burned. It has you begin to lose a sense of where the fuck am I? I am a prisoner inside my own home. Nothing worse than knowing that the walls of the prison that you currently reside in were actually created and edified by you. Pit number 1. Pit number 2, the identity crisis. This is a man who actually figures out how to climb out of that pit. He finds a way to take the business and put it into order and says, here is the business that I built, and has built it to a way that allows him to step away from this business. It's profitable. It's productive. It's producing the life that he wants. But brother, inside of this becomes another question, something you weren't anticipating. It's when you begin to move away from what was the prison, you begin to find yourself in a place of saying, well, who the fuck am I now? Professional athletes, ex-military, and businessmen like you and I, when we leave the identity of who it was in our creativity, we now find ourselves lost once again. This fear of existing in an identity crisis keeps us addicted to staying back in the same way. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy to go back into a business prison. So although we've built it to work, when I stay stuck in this identity crisis, it will pull me right back down to earth and put me right back into the same prison of pit number 1. And most men will live their entire business lives between pit number 1 and pit number 2. Stuck, trapped, and repeating a karmic loop of insanity. Pit number 3. Pit number 3 is hypergrowth. These are men who say, listen, I don't have any plans of retirement, and maybe that's you. Maybe you are the guy who says, I will never fucking retire. I'm that guy. I'm the guy who says, listen, my businesses cannot own me, and my identity is constantly expanding. Who I was when I began to build the business I'm in is not who I am today. And that new identity is being reborn, but it requires permission to become new. It requires people inside your world to say, motherfucker, let's go. You can do this. Let's go. You must go, because this third pit, though, becomes the hyper-growth desire. He says, Garrett, man, I'm lacking the permission. I'm lacking the fire. I want to run again, but I'm 50. I want to run again, but I'm 45. I've already played this game and I'm alive, but I've got to fight to stay alive. I want to grow. Growth is who I am. It's not what I just take a stand on. That my businesses, and though most people won't get it, they're like, what you have is great. What you have is in a prison. What you have is a beautiful identity. You're a businessman. And inside of this, you say, listen, I realize all those things are wonderful, but I want more. And this becomes confusing because people begin to tell you that you shouldn't want more. And so amidst your own suffering, you begin to stifle the vision for a bigger future. And your future becomes smaller than your past. And inside of that place, particularly to my brothers who are 50 years and older, your life itself begins to lose the color that it once had. You just want to grow. And without the hyper growth and without the ability to go, things again retreat back into an identity crisis and then slowly back into the same fucking prison we just talked about. And yet if a man can break out of that prison, he can find that new sense of identity every week and every month as he grows quarter over quarter, and inside of this can commit to growth. Commit to hyper growth, not just I'm going to grow 5% this year. It is, listen, I'm going to take a 20% growth. I'm going to take a 33% revenue growth this year. And me as a CEO, the business owner, the founder of this game is going to push this bitch and pull it to the finish line. Waking up every day with a sense of fire and desire. Yet the problem is inside of that comes down to the ability to hire and fire. Pit number 4, the sinking ship. This is an individual who built the business that works. But brother, you fucked up along the way. You didn't even know you did. You didn't know about the warrior's way. And you, like many men, I live in a county like this, 84% divorce rate in Orange County. The cities and the neighborhoods that I live in here in Dana Point, Laguna Beach, where our offices are located, I'm surrounded by powerful men, gray-haired men in their 60s. Men who are married to women 20, 30 years younger than the men trying to figure out, how do I deal with the reality that I built my empire and forgot about my family? This sinking ship experience becomes the fact that the despair that comes from a life that's not working pales in comparison to everything that was working inside a business. And this despair leads to addiction, and this addiction leads to destruction, and that destruction leads to a life that is burned to the ground. Number 5, fuck it, I want out. See, all these pits lead to the same harsh reality, and that reality is this: if you don't address the nature of who you are as a man and have somebody inside of your world to hold your hand, and not to do the fucking work for you, but to show you the promised land. The promised land that's always been in your mind, but the one you've lacked the courage to go find. The one that you got here with, but the one that you've forgotten and left behind. That vision for a future is possible. And that growth itself is plausible. And what's fucking more expensive than the 4 kings? A divorce. A divorce riding on the wings of a life that ran out of control. What's more expensive? The addictions and the recovery and the trainers and the people that have to support you now that you found yourself in a life that is not working. These 5 pits, as we review them: pit number 1, the business prison; pit number 2, the identity crisis; pit number 3, hyper growth; pit number 4, the sinking ship; pit number 5, the fuck it, I want out. I want out of this business. I don't know, what I signed up for is not who I am anymore. These 5 pits, if they're not mastered, destroy men. And so while some men deal with the basics of the warrior's way, they live the game of the code and telling the truth and be real, get raw, stay relevant with ruthless commitment to big-ass results today. And then there's a second phase of body being balanced and business inside the core. And then they get the keys, which is what, why, when, how, and the one thing. And then they get the game, which is 90-day challenges with 60 and 30-day benchmarks and weekly targets. There are a few. In this case, in 2017, there are 4 of you. 4 of you that are going to come on a journey that's going to have me fly to you. That's going to have you fly to me. That's going to have us work every single week virtually. That's going to take the desires that you've been scared to even speak, and we're going to put those out on paper. We're going to get them real for you across the board. And inside of that, we are going to build a world of creation inside of your life. We are going to build a frame that will allow you to lead and to grow in a way that you have never known possible before. This game itself, I call the peak formula. It's a simple formula. It's not complex. It doesn't require a degree, a master's degree. It doesn't require you to be a doctor, a lawyer. It doesn't require you to fucking make $10 million a year. What it requires you to do is say, I'm a man in the pit who's more legit than a normal player, and I need custom guidance inside of this game, because if you could just chip away at all the fucking bullshit and we could just get after it, Garrett, I know I can do this. I'm that fucking kind of guy. I'm that guy that finds the man who says, listen, just create the space for me. Help me hold it. When I doubt, remind me of what I've committed to. And inside of that space, I believe in myself. You may be that guy or have forgotten who that guy is. Maybe you were the guy that took the fucking shot with 2 seconds left, but now you're the guy passing the rock. Regardless of how that goes, the peak formula itself, first goal is to create time. You don't create more time, we just make more time. We're going to make you more effective than you've ever been before. The way we're going to do that is have you stop fucking bullshitting. We're going to get to truth at a level you've never been to truth. We're going to help you find truth in places you've never discovered. We're going to get rid of bullshit stories across the board that suck up your time. That time itself is going to lead to space. With this less bullshit going on inside your life, you're going to have space. Space around your executive, space around your business, space inside your own mind, space inside the game called your desires and your business. That space is going to bleed over into your relationships. You're going to start to see how life itself seems to slow down and that you don't even need more time. You need more space inside of time, and inside that space for the very first fucking time, you're going to find perspective. Perspective you've been searching for likely years. You know, getting to the place you're at, it's not what you know, it's what you see. It's the possibilities you see and the permission that you give to yourself inside of that perspective to go. It's not that you don't know what to do most times. It's that you lack the permission and the courage to do the shit you know you need to do. This is what I do, me and you. I am the fire that lights your desire. Inside of that space with a system and a process with you uniquely and customized, we're going to open up perspective in a way that you've never had it before. And inside of that perspective, we're going to find power that you've never felt before. Not because I'm going to bottle it up and ship it to your fucking house, but because you're going to unlock it inside of you. And when you forgive, my job is to remind you. My job is to remind you and to guide you and to ask you the hard fucking questions you won't ask. To give you the perspective around the corner that you know won't last if we don't get it. This game then of space and time. Time leading to space. Space leading to perspective. Perspective leading to power. That power must be focused into productions. Big ass results. Scary targets inside of business that will force you to become a new man. Force you to become a new leader. Force you to become a new marketer, a new salesman. They will require you to lead. To lead, brother, in ways you've never led before. To lead in ways that you know deep inside there's a store of these emotions and this clarity that if you could just grab it, the doing of the game becomes easy. Not because the doing in and of itself became easy, but because you became more fucking powerful. Most men, this is too much. My wife tells me all the time, you're too much. Can you tone down just a little bit? You're a little too much. You're overwhelming me right now. This is not for motherfuckers who get overwhelmed easy. Brother, you got to be a player to run with me at this speed. That's why most men sit in a group of 400 to 500 and let me yell into a camera. Most men will sit in tens of thousands and read the emails because that's the diffused power that they can deal with. But there are 4 of you. There are 4 of you who are going to go to places in 2017 that not only wouldn't have happened in the next decade, but are going to prove that the Warrior's Way, created in the most elite, customized way ever, can produce 10 years of results in 10 months. This production has one outcome: profit. Profit. If you currently operate in a business in which the investment to be here, it is not even feasible for you to 10x that investment in 10 months, then this is not a place for you. If you are a corporate executive, although you make great money, this is not for you. You have to be able to control your income. You have to be able to control your game. You have got to be able to make fucking moves. You've got to be the king of your own game. If you're not a king of your game, I love you. I respect you. Come to Warrior Week. Be part of one of our experiences and our programs. This is for a fucking man who runs likely not one, but multiple businesses at once. Like the first few applicants for the Kings who came in who run 6, 7 businesses. And a couple others who had 1 or 2. Productivity and profitability is not your issue. It's growth. If this game itself is for you, here's what I want you to do next. Your next step is to apply. This application doesn't guarantee that you will be accepted. This application is a journey and a tryout in and of itself. It's not fucking simple. It's not easy. It's a depth, deep dive commitment because you understand, brother, you will be the first man who I fly to go meet. I gotta know who you are. I gotta know what your wife is like. I gotta know what your children are like. I gotta look into your home. I got to see your businesses. I gotta see the environment you operate in day to day. We have to be clear. And then you're gonna have to come out here to Laguna Beach to my training facilities with me and my teams, and then we're gonna connect. There will be no men inside the game outside of these 4 who get more time and energy from me and more focus when I walk on the beach in the morning and the phone calls we have likely daily at times. There will be no men inside the game who will get this kind of attention. So brother, I gotta make sure we're a fucking fit. Because at the end of the day, if we're not, you'll fucking hate me, I'll hate you, I'll boot you out, or you'll quit. And so there's 4 of you. There's 4. And it is not cheap. This will be the biggest investment requirement in the history of Wake Up Warrior. Because I expect the biggest results out of these 4 men than we have ever had in the history of Warrior. So if you're ready to become my case studies inside of the Four Kings, to take business and life to levels of results and profitability that you've never even anticipated, but you always wished you had, your next step is really simple. Complete the application on this page. You'll be contacted by my team. You'll have a preemptive interview with Coach Sam Falsafi. And from that interview, you will then be passed on to me, and we will have a conversation. And if it's a fit at the end of that, brother, then we will move forward. And if it's not, then I will say thank you for making a run at the Four Kings.